Powerful, hybrid active noise canceling earbuds are all the rage this spring. Even though I just released a top ANC review in February, I'm doing it again with this bunch of STEM style earbuds that I've just been reviewing like one after the other. And I'm going to include the Tribit Flybuds C1, which are a great sounding STEM style earbud that doesn't have either ANC or ambient mode. But they just happen to fall right in the middle of me testing all these other STEM style hybrid ANC earbuds, and I thought it would be nice to round out the competitors in terms of another great sounding STEM style earbud for those of you into this style of earbuds. Now these earbuds range in price from about $49 to over $99. All of them are excellent choices. I mean, you can't go wrong buying any one of these, but there are differences in the features, in the sound quality, and the sound signature, the controls, and the fit. Other than the Tribit, all of these earbuds have hybrid ANC. And I talked about the hybrid benefits back in February, but I'll repeat it here, is they're going to do a few things a lot better than a single type of ANC earbud from the past. Number one, they can reduce noise over a larger portion of the musical spectrum or of the audio spectrum. Next, they're going to eliminate or reduce wind noise, especially like low wind noise. When it gets stronger and stronger and stronger, like a real wind, they can't really do it. Like a breeze, they can definitely do. And a third benefit, which I really find effective and useful, they're going to reduce kind of inner ear echo, like footsteps to your ears. So this group of earbuds have a ton of features. And here's a super fast rundown of the key differences. So all of the cases would fit in the fifth pocket of your jeans, meaning they're pretty small. Maybe the J-Labs is a little bit large for your jean pocket. But it's this Boltune case that would most likely fit in your jean pocket and fit in there the best because it has such a thin profile. All of these charge via USB-C except for the J-Lab, which has its built-in cable. The J-Lab also comes with wireless charging, as do the Pamus and the Tozos. And if it's battery life that you're really looking for, look no further than the J-Lab and the Tribit, both which come with 12 hours of battery life and about 50 hours with the case. The others are pretty awesome too, with most having about 8 to 10 hours, except for the Pamus, which are a little bit lower than that. Now they all have Bluetooth 5.0, at least. Some of them have 5.2. I believe it's the Boltunes and the Tozos. They all have AAC playback, and the Tribits actually have aptX playback as well. And for you workout junkies connecting your buds to a smartwatch, the most notable and strongest Bluetooth range comes with the Tozo and the Boltunes. All of these earbuds should be okay for working out with at least IPX4 rating. Only the MPOW have an IPX rating of 8, which is the highest IPX rating you can get. Now the controls on all of these are excellent, but only the Tribit have that dedicated physical button control, which is actually really awesome to use. And the Boltunes are the only ones with a touch control with a dedicated touch pattern for enabling ambient mode, which is totally awesome. Now the Pamu, which have kind of this touch sensitivity, like a tone that plays, it almost feels like haptic feedback in your ear when you touch them, are great. And even though they have an app on the Pamu, the one thing that you will notice is that you have to make some choices about which touch controls you're actually going to be able to use, because they just don't allow for a triple tap yet in that app. So you're going to be able to configure what you want, but not everything that you might need. Now speaking of apps, only the Pamus and the J-Labs actually come with an app, and the J-Labs app was recently updated, making it a very solid and reliable app. And the J-Labs app, I mean, they definitely give you access to a lot more features than most of the other buds, like a low latency in gamer mode, which again the Pamu has in the app as well, but none of the other earbuds have that. The J-Labs have 4 selectable EQ modes available via the touch controls and also adjustable in the app. You can see that in my full review. The J-Lab also have in-ear detect, which only the Boltune and the Tozo also have. Now, if you're a volume junkie, there is no other way to go than the Tribit. The Tribit is coming in at a massive 108 decibels, and next it's followed by the Tozo, which come in at an incredible 104 decibels, And the rest of these earbuds come in at a respectable about 100, which seems to be about an industry average, 100 decibels these days. Now, getting into their ANC, by my measurements, the manufacturer's claims actually hold pretty accurate in their rankings. The Pamu, the Tozo, and the Boltunes just do a better job of eliminating low-frequency sounds than the others, which don't claim to be as strong anyway, but the Annic-Fire, the Ampow, and the J-Lab are on another level slightly lower than those three. And the Tribits, of course, they do not have any ANC or ambient mode at all. But listen, all of these earbuds, except for the Tribit, of course, have very good ANC. But you know, this isn't preschool sports. Someone has to be the winner and someone has to be the loser. The higher spec earbuds actually do perform better. Now, before you write in and say, I tried these and those and they don't have good ANC, remember, the number one thing you're going to have to do to get good ANC is get a strong seal with the provided silicone ear tips. Then, if you don't, you won't like the earbuds, you won't like the bass, you won't think that they get loud, and you won't think that the ANC is very strong. Which would probably be the case, if any of these, it would be with the Annic-Fire. The Annic-Fire is the least protruding or the least deep fitting earbud in the group. And if you can't get this earbud to seal correctly in your ear, you're just not going to get great bass and you're not going to get great ANC. But this is also a perfect earbud for smaller ears. And if we turn these so that we can see how deeply some of these penetrate, you'll see that the design of the ear tip is quite different. Quite different on that Annic-Fire than any other earbud here. The Pamu kind of looks like that, but it is still deeper the way that it sticks in further. The Annic-Fire just sits really flush against your ear. Again, if you don't get that tip to seal correctly, you're not gonna like the bass, you're not gonna like the ANC, you won't think that they get very loud, and moreover, as the frequencies get higher and the ANC doesn't actually counteract those frequencies, but passive isolation should take over. If you're not getting a seal, the passive isolation also won't work and a lot more sound is just gonna get through. So the number one thing I can recommend is when you're out there trying on your earbuds, get the right seal. And sometimes it might be a matter of if you can't get a seal with the tips that are on there, try a pair from another set of buds. I just had someone that I was talking with on my channel, couldn't get the right seal, used a pair of tips from an older pair of earbuds, got the seal he was looking for, and boom, those earbuds were transformed for him. The Annic-Fire's bass is excellent. It would be great. I mean, that's a totally great recommendation for anyone who's not interested in tons of bass and sub-bass. And I could say the same about the J-Lab and the Tribit. These are not huge bass buds. If you want to get your bass groove on, you've got to check out the Tozos and the Boltunes. I mean, even the Ampows and the Pamus, they're close to the Tozos and the Boltunes, but oh my God, these earbuds are ridiculously good in the bass category for less than $100. You will not be disappointed if you get the right seal from those tips. I don't know how many times I'm going to say that in this video. From mids and vocals, the Tribit and the Annic-Fire are your top earbuds here. They got the clarity, they got the detail, they got the soundstage done right. The Tozos and the Pamus are also very, very good in this regard. While the, let's see, the Boltunes, the Ampows, and the J-Labs, they're pretty good. Probably better than anything or as good as anything in the sub $100 category like last year. And then in the next level, it's the Ampow, the J-Lab, and the Boltunes, which have good midtones and vocals, just not as good as the others that I mentioned. But they're all really good for this price range. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to say, like, if you choose the Boltunes, the Ampows, or the J-Labs, you're not going to like them, because I've already said in my videos that you will love them. Just not as good in the mids and vocals as the other buds in the table here. Now for high frequencies, the Tribit are my choice. These earbuds are gorgeous sounding earbud. Very comfortable, they're interesting looking earbud, and they are definitely the tops when it comes to the high frequencies amongst this group. But that said, like most of the other earbuds are actually really good at producing high frequencies, and it's probably just because that's what consumers like.
And that's what you're going to get on a lot of these. They all have really good highs. I think that's probably the category that I rank the best amongst all the categories, that a lot of these have just very good high frequency sound. Any of these earbuds can be tuned using your favorite EQ app to do a much better job. I think if any of them, the Amplifier are probably the ones that would be the most easily changed by actually changing the tips. I actually put some tips on here from the JLab. You see how much that sticks out? I put them on this earbud and boom, these things had started to deliver a ton more bass. Now let me talk about ambient mode for a minute. So ambient mode on all these earbuds, it seems like the industry has just come to kind of a norm with ambient mode. Like they all do a really good job of ambient mode. It's always subtle on all of these. There's almost no white noise whatsoever. I mean, it's hard to say there's not white noise because as soon as you turn on ambient mode, like I can hear the fan system in my home, which is kind of always on to help circulate air. But I can hear clacking of the keyboard, tapping on the table, I can hear voices in the other room, I can hear the television. It all works really well and there's no white noise. The JLab, of course, you can adjust the volume of the ambient mode in the app, which is pretty cool, and you are paying more for the JLab unless you get them on super sale, in which case you probably pay less than any of these, but that's a solid earbud right there. So which do I prefer? When you're talking about these earbuds, these are all 49 to 99 bucks. Depending on the sale you get, you might be able to get them a little bit lower. But overall, for me, it's really hard to ignore the Tribits, which I included in here just because I recently reviewed, 6 of these, not the JLab. I've reviewed that one a long time ago. But the Tribit is an earbud, even though it doesn't have ANC or ambient mode, that when I reviewed all these earbuds, I just kept going back to it in terms of sound quality and thinking this was the one that sounded like the liveliest to me, that sounded the best to me. I can't say that it blows me away on the bass side, but for overall sound, I just think that this has got something special about it in terms of its sound quality. But I can EQ it up to give me more bass. I don't think it'll ever have quite the bass of the Tozo or the Boltune or even the Empow and the Pamu, but it's a really, really nice balance. Now for the overall package, it's so hard to ignore these Boltunes. These Boltunes are really, really well done. I think I said it in my review, just like the package, the way the case works, the way the buds work, everything about them, the way they look with their subtle design. Look, there's not even any branding on them. They just look clean and classic, and they work super, super well. Plus they have that dedicated ambient mode touch control, which is really great. The earbud is small and the sound is just phenomenal. Now the Tozos are also just fantastic. You get actually a pretty similar looking bud, but it has its own branding on there. It's a slightly bigger looking bud. The case is definitely a little bigger. It's a little bit thicker, but this is a tremendous sounding bud. Plus you have wireless charging here with the Tozo, which is a nice plus. The Empow, the Amplifier, the Pamu, they all sound great. Even and the JLabs, they all sound great in their own right. I recommend them all without hesitation. Again, there's just no loser in this bunch. They are all that good. But I think just comparing them, looking at the sizing on them, checking out the way they look, the uniqueness of each of them. I mean, the pearl white on this Pamu was kind of interesting. The Empow, I think I spoke about it a lot, because you got some of your ANC pickup position right there. If you tap it there, you're going to get some odd effects. So you will learn to tap it on that indentation. Like learning a new lover, I think I said. And I stick by that. You will learn to touch that in the right place. I've kind of babbled on about all of these. I think I've picked them up and shown you all of them and how they all look, so that you get a good feel for it. And their cases, the size of their cases, you can kind of see. Let me put the obligatory Hot Wheels car in the middle here, so you can just get a gauge for the size of some of those cases. And that Pamu and that JLab, you can see, are definitely the bigger size. The Empow coming in next. The Tribit, pretty close. The Tozo, actually a little bit thinner. I always like one dimension to be pretty thin so that I can put it in my pocket and not have it bulge out too much. And that's the one that I would go with there, but absolutely the thinnest of them all. It is this Bold Tune case, and that is the one that works the best in my pocket, even though overall maybe that Antiquire case is a little bit smaller. And certainly, again, the buds are on par with being pretty small. All right, folks, I hope this video helps you make a great purchase decision. Thanks for watching.